checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go pretend that they cool till they bust at your motherfucking chest. I'm getting gutter, my flow been like butter, my check in the bank, they see the number. All of my haters feel one of two ways, really upset or they show some respect. I can't even think about it, I've been up, so read about it, no beat around it, straight to it, no ring around it. You coming for me, we'll see about it, we'll never see it when I get my feet up. 100 meters where I run the fee up, and go for ching and I'm on a pia. I had to re-up on a reel, so you stay the feeder, and put it back into the bit, cause I don't really need it. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I had to put all their egos in check. You're not entitled to anything else. I get 10 years of this under my belt. Your art is an art, they don't feel it, and nobody hears it. And this should stay on the shelf. Your ego done got in the way. It gotta die today. It gotta go. You should be happy I lighten the load. The weight of your arrogance, heavy as stone. I make an appearance, they already know. That chip on your shoulder gon' crumble and fold, yeah. It's not a secret that you have been fearing the shit that I'm on. So you back to the brag and the boast. But I'm in a class of my own. I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check.
Good morning, gentlemen, ladies, and pendejos. Welcome to this is going to be sort of morning edition of Drone Brews. I'm trying to make it a habit to stream at least once a month in the early hours for the people overseas. I keep getting comments about that, hey, I can't catch your show live because I'm overseas. So we're going to be doing like one of these once a month. So for every Drone Brews we have, we'll have one on Saturday. So like there'll be 3 regulars and then one Saturday morning stream where I'm just drinking coffee instead of alcohol. So, all right. So let's talk about some things, man. We got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of things that I just figured would work better doing a live stream versus doing an actual video, because sometimes with videos like this, you can just sort of ramble. So we have the ruling on remote ID. So remote ID was upheld in the courts. So basically that's a lot of money wasted, I think, unfortunately, fighting that. I'm going to give my opinion on that. I also want to talk about the Cadex Vista DJI, or the Cadex DJI partnership ending, which honestly was pretty inevitable. We'll talk a little bit about that as well, because I think that's really important to discuss. So, all right, let's just start off talking about the remote ID upheld, and sort of what that means. And if anybody thought that this case would essentially permanently slow this down, you are super, super naive. This was never going to slow this process down. It's the government, and the government is always going to do whatever they want to do. All right, so basically there was like 3 key points in this case that they argued, and some of them were valid. Like, I think the most valid was about the privacy, about the pilot location being broadcast so anybody could find where a pilot's located. That one to me is a big one, and I feel like that one could have damaging effects, like long-term on pilots. We're not going to see it immediately, but when remote ID finally does roll out, but I think long-term we'll hear stories, and just horror stories about that as it goes. I mean, I don't really agree with that. I think the judge is incorrect that we should have a reasonable right to privacy. When a drone is flying, you typically don't know where the operator is in most instances. I've never been in a situation where I go hunting a drone down to find exactly where it's landing. That's just not something I've ever done. But I don't think he understands that fully, like what he's said there and what he's ruled against. People are going to get robbed, and potentially more conflicts because they're flying, especially guys that are doing this professionally, and they're maybe scanning, let's say, power lines, right? Granted, you should be going down a rung of lines, but they could be doing power line inspections. They could be doing disaster relief or something like that. And you have people looting and saying, oh, hey, I'm just going to, see where that drone is flying. You can easily find that. So hopefully they don't make it easy to locate an operator, but they do make it where it's broadcastable, but not easy to locate. So that's a problem. The other situation was when we talk about the remote ID being upheld, a lot of the arguments that were being made were really about Race Day Quad's business, right? Like how this would affect them. I felt like a lot of the arguments, and more I watched it, I felt like a lot of the arguments really pertained to their business, not really like the industry as a whole. And there was a lot of things that were sort of portrayed as personal issues with the remote ID. And I think that's a lot of the reason why the judge struck down their petition essentially, and it didn't go anywhere because it was, you have this singular company, sort of fighting City Hall. It wasn't like there was multiple lawsuits that were happening, from non-corporate entities, individuals per se, trying to fight this as well. I mean, obviously no individual is going to have the money to make that work, but we didn't have enough of that happening, and it was just more of a public entity. So what happens now? Like, you're going to probably see a shit ton of videos about this, people trying to freak you out, total fucking clickbait. Honestly, nothing changes. Literally nothing changes as of right now. So now it's going to be the process of, well, what does remote ID look like? What does the hardware look like? And how long are they going to give manufacturers to be compliant? So obviously we're not going to meet that deadline that they initially put out when remote ID was first announced. It feels like we're at 3 years ago when this was actually laid out. And here we are 3 years later, and we don't even know what the hardware is going to look like or the people who are going to be producing the hardware. So I just don't think there's a lot to worry about at the immediate moment. Obviously, they have to give manufacturers time to catch up and to become compliant, but they haven't given them anything to be compliant with. Like, hey, what is the protocol that they are going to be following? We don't even have that. So if you ask me, we're still probably at least 2 years away before this actually becomes a super reality where we're actually going to see it, where these digital license plates will be tracking. We're definitely going to be closer now that they can move forward with things, but we're still at least 2, maybe even 3 years away from that. So like in my eyes, I'm not worrying about it now. I'm totally not even going to worry about it right now as far as my business goes or the drones I have. I may start giving it some thought as new releases happen and say, well, is this going to be future-proof? Is this going to be compliant with the new regulations? I'm not going to worry about it right now, and neither should you, I don't think. If you're always worried about shit like this, then don't fly. Like, you're always going to be worried. But where there's a will, innovation will find a way, and I'm confident that most manufacturers will get up to speed rather quickly. They likely already have sort of a blueprint for this, so it's going to make acclimating to this a little bit differently. It does suck that, everything is going to be tracked. I understand it. If you want to be treated like pilots, then I guess, we have to bear all the essentials that typical pilots have. Like, if you're flying a plane, you're tracked. Granted, these are, as some would say, paper planes. Still it's got to be tracked. So, I mean, I'm with it. I understand it. I don't like it, but I understand it, and it is what it is. So you just sort of have to just roll with the punches. But I don't think it's like anything to freak out about at the immediate moment. Drone XL's put out a pretty solid article in regards to this, just sort of breaking it all down. There's a lot here. All the claims were basically broken down, as far as what I can see here. I don't think they're going to pursue any further. I think it's just I don't see them pursuing this any further. Like, as far as, their lawsuit goes, I just don't see it happening. So, but yeah, sucks, but it is what it is, unfortunately. I knew this would happen like this, and there's a whole PDF you can access too with all this information. Christopher says, I read that DJI drones just need an update and they'll roll out with it. We don't know that. We don't know what the broadcasting requirements will be. So I wouldn't say that DJI drones just need an update. Don't put your money in that. I would just say is that it's a wait and see thing. I think everybody jumps the gun a lot of times and they're looking for like that comfort, like, oh, hey, this drone's future proof. We don't even know what the future looks like. We don't even know what the hardware requirements are going to be, or again, who's going to be managing that data, because obviously the FAA can't manage that data. So they're going to have to rely on a third party to do that. So I would just say we'll have to wait and see. We'll definitely have to wait and see what that's going to look like. But as of right now, like I said, we're probably 2-3 years out. I mean, for a manufacturer to change their course of direction, it's going to take at least a year of planning, then maybe a half a year of manufacturing, and then maybe another 6 months. So yeah, 2 years, maybe 3 years before it hits public hands. Correct. So all aircrafts have that information available, but when you start making locations of a remote pilot public, I can understand the concern. Now the rule is probably nothing bad is going to happen to the pilot, right? Who's really looking at that information, right? But in certain situations, let's say you're flying in a city or you're near an environment where there's a lot of people, that potential for something to happen is a lot greater. And that to me is probably the most aggravating thing. And then when you start talking about how you're going to make this data available, I think it gets scary, because what happens is the media will sensationalize this and they'll advertise this, that, hey, if you're not sure of who that drone belongs to, you can look it up. So again, people will know how to do this because it will be a story, so it will get sensationalized, and that to me is my biggest fear, as I'm flying. So that's the biggest shit show that I can see happening. So will we drone pilots show up on public flight tracker apps? There's a very good possibility that it could. We don't know. I don't think they would cloud the flight trackers like those radars. I don't know how they'll segregate that data. DJI does have the technology to make this work. I was pretty close to understand, but right. Well, the problem is what is the protocol that they're going to release? What are they saying is the standard? The FAA hasn't even put out what the hardware is going to look like. DJI can develop whatever they want, but until the FAA says, hey, this is the absolute standard that we are going to accept for hardware to broadcast a drone's location, to broadcast a drone's serial number, who the owner is, we don't know. DJI drones do this automatically, essentially, and can be captured with aeroscope, but we don't know what the widespread policy will be or what that hardware will look like. Because, again, the FAA is going to want this to be consistent across all makes, all models of aircraft. So not just DJI. So DJI can produce whatever they want, but they may say, hey, it has to be X, Y, and Z to fit our agenda. So I don't think they're there yet, in my opinion. Yeah, that's called aeroscope, Mark. And it works and it can detect DJI. Matter of fact, Apple has aeroscope. Matter of fact, if you're flying around Apple's campus, I've heard several stories from people that security will roll up on you and ask you what you're doing. Now, they can't do anything. They can't do anything because, again, they don't own the airspace, but they'll try to intimidate you. I've heard that from several people, that Apple's security has rolled up on them multiple times. So that's sort of weird. But again, they can't do anything. If Apple doesn't like people flying over their facility, maybe they should apply for a TFR like Disney did. I don't know. All right, let's switch gears, talk a little bit about the Caddx DJI partnership that has ended inevitably. I've seen a lot of really clickbaity shit out there on this. Once again, here's another situation where there's really honestly nothing to worry about. Prior to Caddx departing as DJI's preferred vendor, they partnered with RunCam. So RunCam was producing the Vistas and producing cameras and components. So like nothing changes in that regard as well. And obviously, you know, with Caddx creating a brand new digital system with Walksnail, there was no reason for them to continue working with DJI if they have profits elsewhere. It just makes no sense for them to continue partnering with one another. So the writing was already on the wall. As soon as we saw the avatar system being launched and the whole shit show with Fat Shark, we already knew what was going to happen. We already knew that the time that Caddx had with DJI would be limited. But I will say this, like, I bought a couple of air units because I don't know if there's going to be another system from DJI at any point. I would hope there will be, but we don't know if there will be. And because I don't know, I still fly that system quite heavily. So I would like to have spares. So I do have some spares lying around, but I don't think there's any like real reason to panic. I think there's plenty of stock available. And again, with RunCam picking up those pieces, I think that's a good partner. RunCam doesn't seem like they have any interest creating their own digital system. So I don't think there's anything to really worry about in that regard. So, but I found it so funny. Like everybody jumped on that, and I get it. Like the influencers, they're gonna want to make these super clickbaity titles and get you to watch and captivate your paranoia. But there's literally nothing to worry about in any of this. It's you know, there's just not. Like, there's still going to be air units available. There's still the digital system that DJI produces. They still have those units available, and it's just all going to get transferred to RunCam. It's just shifting from one manufacturer to another. The biggest issue that will arise, there are so many options out there right now, and they are all expensive. One will rise to the top eventually. That's true. You know, I've been really keeping my eye on HD0 for a little bit now. HD0 is getting better. It's getting better. It's almost to the point where I would consider building an HD0 quad in the next like couple of months. Like, I think they're finally getting down the firmware. I think they're finally getting the hardware right. So HD0 is doing a lot of things, like for the guys that like to fly analog but they want that digital reliability. I think HD0 is getting really, really close. I love seeing what they're doing, and I love how like a lot of it is like all open source to the community, and they're just good. They're just good dudes over there. So I'd like to see what they do with that. I still will fly DJI. You know, I love DJI, like when it comes to flying FPV, and I'm going to continue flying DJI, and I have no desire to depart from that, but I will build an HD0 quad eventually. I definitely will be building a few of them just for latency reasons, but and then of course just having goggles that are smaller is really nice. Like, I really love my Orca goggles. I'll continue using those, like, and I'll probably run those with HD0. Because I don't know if Orca is going to ever produce that digital system. It'd be awesome if they did, but it doesn't look like there's any sign of life there. I even asked about that, and I really didn't get I didn't really get a response that I wanted. So, sort of sucks. Just built a 5-inch HTZ. Just killed a 5-inch HTZ. I know how that goes. I haven't flown FPV, and gosh, I feel like I haven't flown FPV in probably 3 weeks. Since I got back from Philly was the last time I fired up any of the quads to really fly. Like, other than doing some jobs, I haven't really flown. I just haven't had time. And man, it is so miserable hot out. It is so hot out. Yesterday it was 95 degrees out, and the humidity was just insane. And I was sweating. I was dripping in sweat in a matter of 10 minutes. Matter of fact, the other day I changed out a cover on the back of my truck, and it said it was only going to take 20 minutes. It took me like 35 minutes to do. But by the time I was done changing that cover out, I was doused in sweat. I had to take another shower. So I'm like, it's miserable to fly FPV in heat like that. The Caddx Vista units overheat super fast. Like, you got to be really methodical about plugging them in. They overheat pretty quickly in this heat. And at night, like by the time the nightfall comes, I don't want to do anything. I don't even want to fly. I want to go to sleep. I'm tired. I have zero energy to even film or do anything. I've been working on a video for this Matrice for the past what feels like 3 weeks, and every time I go to film at night, it rains. And, well, you can't really do thermals at night, especially, well, you can do them at night, but you can't do it after it rains. It screws everything up. So I've been really trying to work with this, but it's rained so much, and I just can't deal with it. What do I think about the Avata? I really don't have any opinion about the Avata because it's not out. DJI hasn't really announced anything yet, so my opinion is I don't have an opinion. I'm really trying to stay away from leaks and rumors until stuff comes to fruition. I'm just trying to stay out of that realm because it's dead end content. I like stuff that's actually physically in my hands. I'll keep an eye on it and watch it, but I won't give any opinions until something comes out. The last thing I want to do is provide airball opinions on products that aren't out. It just builds hype around something for no reason. That's just my opinion. Are you working hours like most people do? Up before dawn? Yeah. I'm usually up by like 6:30 in the morning. I'm at my office in the morning processing files. And if I can do a couple of houses before 11 a.m., I try to. But like tonight, I've actually shifted properties to be later. Like tonight, we're doing a $3.5 million listing. Matter of fact, this house we're going to be photographing and filming tonight is actually right by Tom Brady's house. So that's going to be pretty cool to be over there flying that. So we're filming that later in the evening because good lighting and it's going to be a lot cooler. So, this is going to be a massive house. Absolutely massive house. Is that coffee? Yeah, this is coffee. This is coffee in this cup. Can you believe it? I'm actually drinking coffee. I'd rather have it hot. We just had rain on and off for the past couple of weeks here in Manchester. Yeah, it's been raining pretty much every day here. Like it's a guarantee. Like every afternoon it's going to rain in Florida. But when it rains, the storms are so intense. Like they're super, super intense. I had lightning strike my backyard at my house, knocked our internet out for like 6 days. Speaking of which, I probably need to call Spectrum and be like, hey, I need a credit for those 6 days. I hate arguing with people on the phone. But I'm going to I'm going to try to get that damn credit, to be honest with you. But yeah, it sucks, the rain. It makes flying really difficult. It makes filming outside difficult because your lenses fog up. As soon as I get out of the truck, my lenses are fogging. It sucks. What's good, Matt? Good to see you, man. Let's see. Fly before 8 a.m. all last week. 2 a.m. hot. Yeah, it sucks. And if you're doing it, like, it was funny. I was doing some thermals the other night, and I usually try to hit it just at dusk, like just a little bit after sunset. And it was still too hot. I was still getting temperature readings on this roof of 96 degrees. 96 degrees. And I'm like, damn. But what was good was I was looking for leaks. And the leak was very apparent, so that was a good thing. It was definitely the coolest spot in the roof, so that made life a little bit easier to find the moisture, but it was still crazy freaking hot. Which bird am I using for night shoots? Tonight shoot, I am going to use the Mavic 3. I'm using the Mavic 3 for tonight shoot. To me, it's the one that I know I can color grade the best. So I'm going to use it for tonight's shoot just because color grading the Mavic 3 and trying to match it to a Sony camera, it's beautiful. So, and especially like we're going to be right downtown Tampa. Just outside it. We're going to be Davis Island area, but so we got to get city shots. We got to get a lot of shots actually. I can fly the Mini 3 with sweaty balls, but I can't fly yet. Yeah, dude, I can't fly like FPV when I'm just everything sweating. I got sweat dripping down my face. I've been flying in the car, but I can't fly sitting down. So it's like I'm fucked. Like a lot of people can fly sitting down. I can't fly sitting down. I have to stand. I have to stand. And I can't do that in the car, which sucks. What's going on, Place It here? Good to see you, brother. Oh, it's 12:33, so I gotta start prepping gear. Actually, I'm gonna go meet my partner. We're gonna go shoot some city shots first, get B-roll, and then head over to this house. So It's going to be a good night. It's going to be a good night, I think. Pack ice in the boxers. I've never tried that. May work. I used to have a fan. I would have a fan so I didn't get like a bunch of sweat dripping down the side, but yeah, I can't do the FPV thing in the heat. So, and honestly, you know, I haven't even really flown the Mini as much. I haven't even made very many videos in the past 2 weeks. It's honestly, the weather has made it to where I have no motivation to go out to fly. Like, I'll be flying and I'm just sweating my freaking ass off. I guess I can do what Drone X Factor does, just sitting in my car. I could sit in my car and film videos because it seems to work for him. So maybe I'll just do that. Sit in my car and film videos. Although it's just not, that's not my MO. That's funny. I just said that and Eddie comments that. That's funny as shit. What's going on, Chad? Also, a couple of things too. I know a lot of people was asking me about their order status on the love handles. We are working to get caught up. I think right now we have 20 open orders. And I think yeah, we got 20 open orders right now. So I'm working to get these out today. Hopefully we'll get these all out today. We had a problem with our supplier with the straps. We're using like really premium straps, and for some reason they just took forever to get those. So I'm actually right now, Johnny Beals, your Love Handle Pro is on the printer now, and I got Charlton Berry, yours is going out today, and then I've got I got to get I should start this printer up for this other thing. Shit. Oh, I got to keep on top of this shit. I got to keep on top of this shit. Printing's fucking insane right now. If I don't have these printers running 24/7 in this office, I just fall way too far behind. So hopefully get everything shipped out like late today, early Monday morning, and get it all out. Yeah, I try not to fly from Jeeps. Like, I tried not to fly from my truck ever. I like to see my drone. Like, I like to see what I'm doing. Like, a lot of the houses and stuff that I'm doing, there's power lines, there's all sorts of shit. So I like to physically see what it's doing to get the best possible images. Heat and winter is two different things. I can pile layers on. Like, when you're in the cold weather, you can pile fucking layers, sweaters, heaters, whatever you want. But when it's hot, you can only take it down to your shirt and pants. You can't go any further than that. That's miserable. I can deal with cold weather. I cannot deal with the heat, though, in a lot of instances. Two different worlds. Two different worlds. I haven't seen those 3D printers. Link me to that, Eddie. Send me a link to that. I'll have to take a look at that. Matter of fact, you know what I need to do? I need to freaking go through the YouTube studio, the comment section, and fucking go through all these spam comments. Like, I need to look at all these comments. Like, I felt like yesterday I cleaned like 30 fucking spam comments out. I keep banning these scammers, and somehow they keep finding a way to like get through my filters. I don't understand it. I've banned so many fucking words. Here's another one. Some Marty Schwartz. This fucking dickhead. I'm so sick of this shit. Like, YouTube needs to fix this shit. I spend more time banning. I'm gonna ban the any emoji that looks like a celebration. I'm banning that. You're not even gonna be able to fucking do that. You're not even gonna be comment an emoji. Fucking assholes. And like, who uses Telegram for that? I mean, seriously. I've banned so much shit. It's unbelievable. It absolutely takes the joy out of having a comment section. I thought, like, at one point, like, can you make it to where, like, you can only comment, like, I guess, I can have it, so I can actually have it to where, so you can make it to where hold potentially inappropriate comments for review increase strictness. See, I don't know if I like that, because then it may, I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, I guess we'll try it. I'll see if it has any sort of negative effect on the channel's comment section. Hopefully it doesn't, but it sucks. It sucks you got to do that. I mean, I go to the approved, like the, then I got to go through the approved section, and that's a whole shit show. What sucks is like certain hashtags are even, certain hashtags aren't even approved. The fuck, man. Oh, see, here's a Ken Heron one on my channel. There's literally a Ken Heron. Message me on Telegram at Ken Heron. Fucking unbelievable. This is, I honestly can't believe the level of shit, dude. These little fucking scammers do. Oh, that's a badass 3D printer, Eddie. Eddie just sent me that 3D printer. That looks pretty cool. Bamboo Lab X1. Looks like it has 4 filament. I wonder how much this thing's going to cost. This thing looks expensive, though. Yeah, that looks expensive. That's really expensive. A lot of commenters, a lot of your comments have found, yeah, I'll always, like, if somebody wins something, I usually curse. So that helps that. I'm going to have to check this 3D printer out. But yeah, I just cleaned, like, just now I cleaned up like 40 something spam comments from people like trying to get people to message. And then see, they're also using other accounts. Like they have a Ken Heron account. They got a 51 Drone account. They had a Billy Kyle one I saw, DJI one. It's crazy. It's like they're targeting that. And it's like, but you wouldn't believe, I get probably 3 or 4 messages a week on Instagram saying, hey, are you going to ship me my Mini 3? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And then they send me the like the thread. And I'm like, dude, please tell me you didn't fall for that. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's a scammer. I'm like, don't do that. Don't give them any money. Oh, I didn't know. I'm like, how do you fucking not know? It says original oboe. It doesn't even say Dobo. It says original oboe because I banned that other Dobo. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So don't fall for those scams, please, because I don't want to get messages that you gave some Nigerian prince, $11,000 or whatever. Don't be that person. That would really suck for you. I don't have a warranty against that shit. So we're going to try this new thing with the comment section to see if that can sort of halt some of the people from doing that. So hopefully that stops people from actually messaging you. I really hope, anyways. Yeah, exactly. See, there's Easyheimer says, I knew the Billy Kyle one was fake because he was saying good things about Altel. That's true. That's true. It'll ban all my, no, see, that's the thing. That is on my comments. It won't ban my comments. Like it'll ban somebody else's comments. The only time it bans my comments is if I say something so outlandish that Google doesn't like what I just replied to somebody. If I tell somebody they're a fucking idiot, it'll ban that because it's derogatory. So I've gotten smart. I usually do, you're a fucking ID 10T. So I put ID 10T and Google's like, oh, that's okay because it's ID 10T. But if you look at it, you're an idiot. So I have to keep fooling the algorithm into believing that I'm allowed to say things that I want to say. Stupid, so stupid. So we'll see if how this works. Hopefully this works well. I don't know. It's gonna suck if it doesn't. Well, the thing is, it'll let me approve them. So like I'm going through, I'm approving. Oh, and I also banned the word Ken Heron, so that's why that guy's thing. That's why his thing got banned. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it with it. I'm gonna try it for like a day or so. If I notice like there's a huge drop off and things, then I'll switch it back. But I think for now, I think I think I'll just leave it like that, because it's the only way to make it to where it works. It's crazy. I've got links blocked. I've got freaking words. I've got so many words blocked. It's insane. It's crazy. Pisses me off. So hopefully, see, look at that. See how Rob did it? ID 10T. That's what I used to tell customers when I worked in software, when they would say, hey, you know, this isn't working. I don't know what's going on. I said, oh, I think it's ID 10T. And they're like, yeah, it's got to be ID 10T. And they had no idea. Now, if they ever spelled it out, they would be like, oh. So, yeah, we'll try this and see if this works. I mean, I'm just going to leave the comments how they are. I don't know how to even switch it back. It's not giving me an option to change the settings, but maybe this will slow it down. We'll give it a go anyways. That's all I can do. All right. Well, I think that's going to be it today. I think, how long have we been streaming for here? I didn't even look. I've been messing around with this shit. We've been going for 36 minutes, and I think that's perfect at this point. Yeah, Saturday morning stream, dude. Yeah, we're going to do one of these once a month, I think. YouTube bans all my videos. Oh, that sucks, man. Or picnic. Either or works for me. All right. Well, guys, I'm gonna head to it. I gotta start prepping gear. And then hopefully we'll get some content. I think I'm gonna take the Mini to the city tonight and just let it do some hyperlapses and shit. 2 weeks. In 2 weeks we'll be 2 weeks we'll be in Chicago for the Midwest Drone Meetup. So if you're in or near the Chicago area, check out Fly Zone Drones. They have Half Chrome Drones. They have all the information you'll need to participate at the Midwest Meetup. It's going to be a good time. I'm really stoked to go to Chicago. It's probably one of my favorite cities, and I've never really gotten a chance to explore. I've never gotten a chance to fly a drone there. The last time I was in Chicago was probably 9 years ago when I worked for Midas. I went to Chicago for a business meeting. I didn't even fly drones then. They weren't really a thing. So this is going to be a really cool time to be able to fly that, hang out with everybody, do some FPV, fly the city, get some cool footage. So I'm looking forward to an awesome time. So again, check out their link if you want to go, to that meetup. There's probably going to be a good amount of people there. So I think it's going to be a fun time. So, alrighty, that's going to do it for today's stream. Hope you enjoyed. And as always, stay original.
Maybe I'll just get out my head and focus on what I know's coming. Cause I can't fall asleep at night without seeing my dreams. Delusionary reality, I'm somewhere in between. These voices in my head get loud and they keep telling me that I'm a fool for trusting in these wings. But maybe, baby, this what flying feels like. Themselves crazy tonight. Maybe I should call and say, told you I'd be right. Wondering how long it was before you realized the